Y'all, before we get into the investing stuff, I just got to share. I'm super excited. I recently picked up a record player for playing old records and even new records. I love this thing. It's made entirely out of chocolate. I've been listening to it for a while, and it sounds pretty sweet. I'm sorry. I don't know if you're coming here for the jokes or the investing advice, but I gotta keep it up at this point. This one, I don't know when it's going to be released, but I just wanted to film it because it's kind of quick. I wanted to talk about the mutual funds, the index funds. There's these terms that I've been using, and you might not know what they are. It's the cap weighting, and so you get small cap, mid cap, and large cap, and then in those you have value, blend, and growth. So value blend is a mix of value and growth. Okay, so let's talk about the small, mid, and large cap. I think I've got the dollar amounts here. Small cap is any company that has a valuation of under $2 billion. So any company whose total assets and everything that they have to their name is under $2 billion. Mid cap is anything between $2 and $10 billion. So it's kind of this weird, it seems like a small category to me. And then large cap is anything over $10 billion. And those numbers, there's a little bit of wiggle room, I think. But it's kind of just to give you an idea. Of small cap's going to be smaller companies, maybe companies you've never heard of or have heard of, but just aren't super scalable like Amazon is. And then mid cap's kind of in between. And then large cap is the big players that we all know. Microsoft, Apple, Google, Tesla. Yeah, all those massive companies, Home Depot, Lowe's, banks, Bank of America, they're just massive. So you get those kind of categories there, and then you get the value, the blend, and the growth. So when you're talking about mutual funds, a mutual fund can either be tilted towards value, it can be right in the middle of blend, or growth. So if you get like a total stock market that is a kind of a weighted average of the entire stock market as a whole, this is going to be somewhere right in the middle of all of those. So in Fidelity, if you go to Morningstar.com, Vanguard, they all have these tabs when you're looking at a mutual fund that'll say either portfolio or composition or makeup, and it's a graph that looks like a tic-tac-toe chart. Okay, the bottom row is small cap, the middle row is mid cap, and the top row is large cap, and then from left to right you get value, and then blend, and then growth. So your mutual fund will have a little dot somewhere in there. So like an S&P 500 index fund is probably going to be top right corner, okay? Because these are growth companies that are large cap. It's the 500 largest companies by value in the stock market. Okay, so that's going to be way up in the top right corner. If you find a mutual fund or an index fund that is a small cap value index fund, it's probably going to be somewhere in that bottom left square. If you think of it as a tic-tac-toe square, maybe towards the top center of that bottom left square, maybe towards the top center right of that square, because it's a small cap down here in the bottom left value. Okay, so you've got small cap here, mid cap here, large cap up here, and then value, blend, and then growth. So if you have a total market blend fund, it's probably going to be somewhere about here on the mark. Okay, it's going to be probably tilted a little more towards growth, but it's going to be right in the middle. It's going to have value companies and growth companies. So growth companies are the massive companies that are just making steady gains over and over and over. So if you look at Amazon and Google and Facebook and Microsoft and all these companies, they just have a really long track record of steady growth. Okay, value companies are going to be companies that based on different metrics, they're going to be kind of undervalued, but they're still going to be solid companies. And it doesn't mean that they're going down in value. It just means that for their earnings potential, their price of stock is low. And these are the kind of companies where, you know, you could put $10,000 in and make a really, really good profit off of them. So that's just a little bit more information as we go along, guys. There's lots of nuance here and little details, and this isn't the be-all, end-all of, you know, this is how mutual funds are made up. It's just more information, okay? So small cap, mid cap, large cap, and then value and growth. Pay attention to that when you're looking at stuff. Yeah, hope that's helpful. Like, comment, subscribe. I'd love to hear feedback on my jokes. You know, if y'all are coming around for the jokes, I want to definitely bump that up. You know, maybe I'll do 2 jokes a video, beginning and end. And if you're coming around for the investing advice, I'd love to know that so that I could do 3 jokes per video. Thanks, guys. See you in the next one.